but it has rarely been made clear what their status was there, what the meaning was of this proximity which seemed to assign the same homeland to the poor, to the unemployed, to prisoners, and to the insane. It is within the walls of confinement that Pinel and 19th-century psychiatry would come upon madmen. It is there, let us remember, that they would leave them, not without boasting of having delivered them. From the middle of the 17th century, madness was linked with this country of confinement, and with the act which designated confinement as its natural abode. A date can serve as a landmark, 1656, the decree that founded in Paris the Hôpital Général. At first glance, this is merely a reform, little more than an administrative reorganization. Several already existing establishments are grouped under a single administration, the Salpêtrière, rebuilt under the preceding reign to house an arsenal, Bicêtre, which Louis VIII had wanted to give to the commandery of Saint Louis as a rest home for military invalids. The house and the hospital of La Pitié, the larger as well as the smaller, those of Les Refuges, situated in the Faubourg Saint-Victor, the house and hospital of Chipion, the house of La Savonnerie, with all the lands, places, gardens, houses and buildings thereto appertaining. All were now assigned to the poor of Paris, of both sexes, of all ages and from all localities, of whatever breeding and birth, in whatever state they may be, able-bodied or invalid, sick or convalescent, curable or incurable. These establishments had to accept, lodge, and feed those who presented themselves or those sent by royal or judicial authority. It was also necessary to assure the subsistence, the appearance, and the general order of those who could not find room, but who might, or who deserved to be there. This responsibility was entrusted to directors appointed for life, who exercised their powers not only in the buildings of the Hôpital, but throughout the city of Paris, over all those who came under their jurisdiction. They have all power of authority, of direction, of administration, of commerce, of police, of jurisdiction, of correction, and punishment over all the poor of Paris, both within and without the Hôpital Général. The directors also appointed a doctor at a salary of 1,000 livres a year. He was to reside at La Pitié, but had to visit each of the houses of the Hôpital twice a week. From the very start, one thing is clear. The Hôpital Général is not a medical establishment. It is rather a sort of semi-judicial structure, an administrative entity which, along with the already constituted powers and outside of the courts, decides, judges, and executes. The directors, having for these purposes stakes, irons, prisons, and dungeons in the said Hôpital Général, and the places thereto appertaining so much as they deem necessary, no appeal will be accepted from the regulations they establish within the said hospital, and as for regulations as intervene from without, they will be executed according to their form and tenor, notwithstanding opposition or whatsoever appeal made or to be made, and without prejudice to these, and for which, notwithstanding all defence or suits for justice, no distinction will be made. A quasi-absolute sovereignty, jurisdiction without appeal, a writ of execution against which nothing can prevail. The Hôpital Général is a strange power that the king establishes between the police and the courts, at the limits of the law, a third order of repression. The insane whom Pinel would find at Bicêtre and at La Salpêtrière belonged to this world. In its functioning or in its purpose, the Hôpital Général had nothing to do with any medical concept. It was an instance of order, of the monarchical and bourgeois order being organized in France during this period. It was directly linked with the royal power which placed it under the authority of the civil government alone. The grand almonry of the realm, which previously formed an ecclesiastical and spiritual mediation in the politics of assistance, was abruptly elided.